Hi everyone, I'm Alex from English Owls, a community of teachers committed to helping their students become better at using English in everyday life. Before I start talking about the topic of this video, I would like to say a huge thank you to all our new subscribers. If you enjoy and find our content useful, please remember to leave a thumbs up at the end of the video and also share and comment. It is very useful for us to see what you think about these videos, and it is the only way to know if we are doing a good job. So please leave us a comment, and also if you have any questions, that would be really lovely to be able to answer these questions. And if you have suggestions for future videos, the comment section would be the best place. Alright, so let's see what are these 3 mysterious questions that you should avoid when teaching English as a second language. Before I tell you what they are, I want you to think that these questions are not banned per se in the lesson, so you shouldn't be so self-conscious now and try to edit and censor yourself constantly. It is more about those specific moments in the lesson when you want to maximize understanding and engagement with your students, and that's when these questions, if avoided and when avoided, will allow for the lesson to go smoothly and for the objective and aim of the lesson to be achieved. So the first question might seem surprising, and that is, do you understand? Now, of course, you want to check that students understand your instructions, understand what you're talking about, understand what you're teaching them. And it is natural to want to check that. However, there are better ways to check understanding than by asking this question. And the first reason why this question is problematic is the fact that naturally your students would like to please you, and they don't want to look bad in front of their peers and in front of you, of course. And naturally, by default, their answer will always be yes to this question, even when, unfortunately, they might not understand. Now, maybe 1% of students might be more outgoing and more, let's say, able to express their opinion and might say, no, I don't understand, but the vast majority will not be able to do that. So avoid asking this question. Instead of asking, do you understand, you can use concept check questions, which go to the core of the meaning or use of the target language and help the student really focus on the context that helps them draw the meaning of a new word or the use of a grammar structure. For more information on CCQs or concept check questions, we will have a video soon on the channel, so I won't be going into too much detail here. And another way to avoid using this question is to ask instruction check questions. So instead of saying, do you understand my instructions, you can just check them. So you can say, are you going to work alone or together? Are you going to read or write? So checking that students know what they're going to do, rather than asking them, do you understand what I've just instructed you to do? So in the same line of thought, if we're thinking about giving instructions, another question that should actually be avoided is, what are you going to do? It is very, very natural to ask this question. After you deliver your instructions, you want to check that students understand them. So to avoid this question when you give instructions and to help students really focus on the task and what you want them to do, rather than ask, what are you going to do something else instead. So you have a few options. The first option is to use instruction check questions or a demo or an example. So just take a student that is a little bit stronger and say, let's do the first one together, Paolo. Or you can even ask a student to ask you a question if it's, for example, a dialogue that you want them to perform or a discussion that you want them to have. So think about other ways to check that students understand your instruction. Another way is to simply point at the task, underline keywords in the task, and see if the students are able to really focus on that, especially when a task is more complex. Break it down. Don't tell them everything that's going to happen in that activity, especially if that activity has various stages. So just tell them what they need to do at a certain point within that activity, and check that particular stage or set of instructions, and then move on to the next stage and ask another set of instruction check questions at that point. The problem with the question, what are you going to do, is the students are being put on the spot. If they are low levels and even at higher levels, they get stressed out, and even that little bit of English that they already know will just disappear. They get stressed out, they don't know what to say, they don't have the language to answer, and they invariably say one thing and they might even be wrong. So, and they feel really bad because they really want to perform. Remember, students want to please you, they want to show you that they know what they're going to do, and they probably do. But if they're asked, what are you going to do, they might not know how to express it. So it is much better if you ask them clear instruction check questions where they have an option. Are you going to read or write? Are you going to talk to your partner, or are you going to write about your experience? So something like that. Okay, so we're coming to the third question that should be avoided, and this is all about meaning, the most important thing that needs to be checked and that we need to ensure is clarified rather than explained. So this question comes up all the time, and again, it is a natural question that you would use in everyday conversation and it would not have a negative impact, but in a lesson it will, and it's very, very important to become more aware of its impact on your learners. And this question is, what does this mean? Let's say you show students a picture and you elicit a word. Let's say you have someone who has a medal and you want to elicit an adjective describing this person, and the adjective is ambitious, and you've got the word ambitious from the students. Excellent, you board it up or you show it to them, they can see it, and now everybody seems to be really engaged. And instead of double checking that we all know the meaning of this word, you just go and ask Maria, what does the word ambitious mean? Maria might know the word already, might not be new to her, or it might be a new word. So the problem with that is that Maria is going to freeze and go, it's a word, or it's a person, something, prize, looking at that picture, trying to stumble and find an answer. It is really stressful for students. And okay, let's say you ask a student and they do come up with a definition there. How many people, how many students do you have on average in a lesson? If it's a one-to-one, it's very, very different. But if we are talking about group lessons, and we have an average of 10, 12, 14, even more students in a class. So if you just ask one person and they are able to give a definition to a new word, it doesn't mean that the rest of your students actually understand this word. So instead of that, use concept check questions and refer the students to the picture that you were using earlier, or the context, or to both. Have a picture and have an example. For example, you have Johnny likes to be the first in all competitions. He is very ambitious. And then you can ask a question. Does Johnny like winning? Yes. Does he feel confident when he wins? Yes. Does he do everything in his power to win? Yes. So remember, it is very important to avoid asking students, what does something mean? If you use definitions to check that students understand words or to test how much they know, it's okay. For multiple choice, for example, matching tasks, it's a good idea. But if you want the students to know how to define new words, it's really unfair. So try avoiding these questions. Okay, so I'm going to recap the 3 questions to avoid in order to help your students focus more on instructions and on the meaning of the language that you are teaching in your lessons. And these are: do you understand? What does this mean? And what are we going to do? Of course, sometimes we need to use these questions in a lesson. It's not terrible if we end up using them, if it's absolutely necessary. But at key moments in the lesson, when giving instructions and when checking for understanding, if you avoid using these questions, your students will learn more and you will be able to actually gauge how much they understand and are able to absorb from the information you have provided. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, welcome, and remember to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell to find out when a new video is posted. In general, we're trying to be consistent with posting once a week, and we also have a few other things happening on our other platforms. So we have a Instagram account where you can join us as well, a Facebook page and a Facebook group for online teaching, and this would be a lovely place for you to engage with the rest of our community and to ask questions and also to share your ideas. So speaking about sharing, if you like this video, remember to like, comment, share. If you're new, please subscribe, and also join us on our other platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and check out our website where we have quite a few articles on various topics that will definitely help you in your lessons. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.